90% of traders don't know this, the dark side of trading. Let's talk about something nobody wants to admit. The part of trading that's not glamorous, not profitable, not Instagram-worthy, but it's real. And it's the reason most traders never make it. It's the dark side of trading. The mental traps, the emotional spirals, the obsession that quietly eats you alive, and the illusions that 90% of traders never see until it's too late. You probably got into trading for freedom, for the money, the lifestyle, the idea that you could make more in a day than most people make in a month. And yeah, that dream is possible. But the road to that dream, it's nothing like what you thought. See, no one talks about how lonely trading is. No coworkers, no support, just you, your screen, and your thoughts on repeat. And those thoughts, they don't always play nice. They turn on you. They whisper doubts. They replay losses. They make you question everything. You start waking up thinking about charts. You go to sleep thinking about entries you missed. You eat lunch, replaying the trade that hit your stop. You become obsessed with being right. And when you're not, you feel worthless. Less than. Broken. You hide it, of course. You pretend you're fine. But inside, it's chaos. That's the first part of the dark side. The identity trap, where your self-worth becomes tied to your profit and loss. When green days mean you're a genius, and red days mean you're a failure, that's not trading. That's self-sabotage. But most don't see it until it breaks them. And let's not forget the addiction. Oh yeah, trading is an addiction. More subtle than gambling. More intellectual. But just as destructive. You chase the dopamine hit. You revenge trade. You add size to make it back. You break your rules. And then you lie to yourself about why. You say things like, "This one is different. I'll just risk a little more. I know it's against my system, but I feel this one." And then the market slaps you. Hard. But instead of learning, you spiral. And spiral. And spiral. At some point, you start losing sleep. You snap at people you love. You cancel plans. You isolate. Not because you want to, but because you're in it. Stuck in a loop. Convinced that one big win will fix everything. But here's the truth. The win never fixes it. Even if you get it, it just feeds the monster. The craving for more. The fear of losing it again. And the cycle continues. Win, lose, chase, crash. And the worst part? You stop trusting yourself. Because every time you promise, "I won't overtrade again. I'll follow my plan. I'm done revenge trading," you break that promise. Again and again. And eventually, you stop believing yourself. And that's where the real damage happens. Now let's talk about the isolation. Because you can't really talk to anyone about this, can you? Your friends don't get it. Your family thinks you're gambling. They don't see the hours of backtesting, the sleepless nights, the internal war. All they see is a screen and some charts. And when you lose, they ask, "Why don't you just stop?" And you can't explain why. So you smile. You say, "I'm just figuring things out." But inside, you feel like a failure. Not just in trading, but as a person. And that's the part no one warns you about. Trading doesn't just test your skills. It tests your soul, your discipline, your emotional control, your patience, your ability to face yourself, raw and unfiltered. Because the market doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how smart you are. It only reflects what you bring to it. And if you bring fear, it will amplify it. If you bring greed, it will expose it. If you bring ego, it will crush it. Brutally. That's why 90% fail. Not because they're dumb. Not because their strategy sucks. But because they never trained their mind. They never faced their emotional baggage. They thought they could outchart their inner demons. But you can't. You bring who you are to the market. And the market makes you pay for what you refuse to fix. Here's another lie. That one trader made $500 Kelvin in a week, so I can too. Yeah? You don't know the years they lost before that. The nights they cried. The accounts they blew. The therapy. The rock bottom. All you see is the highlight reel. And that highlight reel is killing your expectations. You set goals based on fantasy. You want to go full-time after 3 months. You think consistency is just about picking the right strategy. But consistency isn't strategy. It's psychology. Can you be consistent when nothing's working? When you're down 3 weeks in a row? When doubt is louder than logic? That's what separates the few from the many. Because the dark side of trading doesn't show up all at once. It creeps in, slowly, through small compromises, tiny emotional leaks, neglected routines. And then one day, boom, you're lost, burned out, empty. You don't even know why you started anymore. All you know is you're tired. Tired of fighting. Tired of lying to yourself. Tired of chasing something that always seems one trade away. But here's the part no one tells you. That breakdown, it can be your breakthrough. If you let it, if you pause, reflect, and finally, accept that this game isn't about winning every trade. It's about learning to lose without losing yourself. You have to rebuild, slowly, deliberately, not from ego, but from awareness. You have to track your emotions as much as your trades. Journal your thoughts, not just your entries. You have to create rules and honor them like your life depends on it. Because, in a way, it does. This is what 90% don't get. They think the dark side is something to avoid. But the truth is, it's the part you have to go through. To earn your place in the 10%. To become the kind of trader who can survive the storm, not by being fearless, but by learning to trade despite the fear. It's not sexy. It's not quick. But it's real. And if you embrace it, the losses, the mistakes, the ugly truths, you'll come out the other side with something far more valuable than money. You'll come out with character, with clarity, with strength. And that's what makes you dangerous. Not the size of your account, not the number of screens on your desk, but your resilience, your emotional mastery, your ability to stay calm in chaos. That's what separates the pro from the dreamer. So if you're in the dark right now, don't run from it. Sit in it, feel it, and ask yourself, who am I becoming through this? Because trading doesn't just build wealth. It builds you. If you let it,